Welcome to the community event on this beautiful Thursday. As always, we're very thrilled, as usual, to have you here with us in these weekly community events. As the topic gave it away, it's going to be a very interesting one. We've been able to have a major surge in new members. And sometimes it's good to just go back to the fundamentals, the basics, and really break down what our ecosystem is all about. We often talk about the 4 challenges we have. We often talk about how we are having like this solutions to these 4 challenges, but what specifically do those solutions look like? For example, we often talk about it's all about community, and our ecosystem is community driven. But what specifically are we implementing to really highlight that? What functions, mechanisms, smart contracts we have in place to achieve that, to work together as a collective? These are the points that we're really going to dissect and look at in more details, community. And it's going to be a very relaxed and very, very beautiful session. Hopefully that we'll be able to all take away something from it today and benefit from it. But before we get ahead of ourselves, as usual, we want to welcome anybody that is new for the first time that joins our community. Welcome. We are very humbled to have you here with us. And if you're not part of our community yet, I see Queen Val already had went ahead and posted the links on our Telegram. Feel free to be part of our community. Telegram, you're a very, very active and engaged community. We are on various different platforms, such as today, we are on YouTube, but not only on YouTube, we are also on Twitter every Saturday and Monday. We are also on Zoom every single day, actually. And we also active on Wednesdays. Like yesterday, we were also on Facebook. Queens Debbie and Val are literally taking charge there and educating on our ecosystem and in general, right? And then, of course, we have exclusive sessions for the Queens alone, which takes place usually on Fridays and Sundays as well. So those are the sessions that we host consistently as we lay a lot of emphasis on education. With all of that said, of course, we're also glad to see regular community members that are consistently showing up with enthusiasm to tune in and learn and grow together as a community. So we welcome you as well. Also, finally, as our daily routine, we know that we usually tweet. We do our Tweetly, which is a community event that we do on a daily basis. So all the tweets are out on Bull Run, Survivor, and Killer Whale. So I highly encourage those that have not yet done so to engage with the tweets. These tweets are something that we've been doing now for closing in on 2 years consistently, every single day. The beautiful thing about this is, the first thing is it gives us a purpose every day as a community. It gives us an activity that all of us can engage, right, and participate with, from the generation of the banners, from the tweeting of the tweets, and then the engagement with them. This is something that sets us apart in this industry, that we are very consistently being about having a community event on a daily basis, besides these educational sessions that we also have in addition on these various platforms. So if it's just merely to be part of a community that is crypto enthusiastic and place more emphasis on fundamentals, education on a broad scale, feel free to be part of this movement. We are happy to have you join our sessions, be part of our communities, and feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, so that you can always be part of these sessions. You'll get notified so that you can participate or actually just tune in and be part of it. With all of that said, I see all your comments, very much appreciated. We'll come full circle at the end, and we'll go through every single comment of yours. So be relaxed. We will go through every single comment and feedback at the end of this session. With all of this said, let's get the formalities out of the way and get straight to today's session and topic. The topic really says it, and gives it away. We are actually the ecosystem that actually literally came up with this system, right? This is not something that we copy pasted from an existing platform or blueprint. This is actually a blueprint that we as a community came up with, right? This is something that belongs to us. We came up with this concept. We call it the bulldozer effect, DeFi, right? And what it is in a nutshell, before we get into details and dive deeper, it's basically a community powered engine. It's something that we as a collective, we as a community can all participate in it. And that's the whole purpose. That's the whole idea, right? So with all of that said, community, let's just relax and enjoy today's session as we go along. As you know, we always like to kickstart with the market first, and to just have an idea what the market looks like. I know we're all familiar with it. Let me refresh. The market is basically on the side, going sideways right now, as we hear what's happening right now in the crypto industry. I mean, on a global scale, on a macroeconomic level, we hear good news such as both parties involved in the current Middle Eastern war are willing to sit on the table and have a ceasefire. We also see how the president of the United States is willing to sit down with dozens of countries to renegotiate the tariffs. So these are positive developments that are happening on a global scale, on a macroeconomic level, that are easing the fears of the markets, and it's being nicely reflected here. As we see, it's up to 53% now from actually the low 20s just a few days ago. So these are great sentiments. Like we said, the markets are driven through sentiments and emotions, and it only takes a single tweet to get the markets running on either sides, right? One thing also we need to mention, this market is still very volatile because it's still very illiquid, right? We are sitting merely on a right below $3 trillion market cap, right? So it's a fairly small market because just a single stock market, like a single stock, for example, NVIDIA, has roughly the same amount of market cap like the entire crypto industry. So this just shows us the potential of this industry and where we are still able to head forward. So now that we've discussed that, let's get to the meat and potatoes of today. The way to really break the ice and get right into today's session, we have to start with a bang, right? And usually that requires a challenge, right? A crisis, something that crypto Twitter, YouTube, and your favorite social media platforms are debating and arguing and contemplating, and everybody has their opinion, right? So this is one of the opinions that we are very familiar with. And this is not just your random YouTuber or your random crypto Twitter influencer, but this is BlackRock CEO Larry Fink that is talking about the de-dollarization of the dollar, right? And the future of the US dollar, right? So it's always easy to discuss and talk and pinpoint and highlight the challenges, but the real trick is coming up with solutions. What's next, right? We all can chip in our opinions. We all can read and see that things are not happening the way they should. But now what? Let's go beyond the complaining and look under the hood and find solutions for these challenges. So the topic of today, the bulldozer effect in DeFi, a community-powered engine. Let's break down just briefly what is the bulldozer effect and why is it so important. First of all, in this industry we are in, or in life in general, we are literally engineered and literally trained since childhood to be individuals, right? Everything is competitive and individual, right? So the person I'm sitting that sits on my left, on my right, they're my competitors, they're my enemies, quote unquote, and I have to outperform them, outdo them, outwit them. And in order for me to win, they have to lose. That's the mindset. That's the literally the dogma that has been in literally giving into us since the cradle, right? Since the early days of our lives. That competition, individualism, and so on and so forth. All of this needs to stop, literally, and it comes with this new technology that we are in. With this new blockchain technology, it's no longer about individualism, but it's about a collectivism. And it sounds so ideologic. However, as we progress throughout today's session, we realize how this concept that we have in place using this blockchain technology, that's the only way for us to win. It's not about individuals. We always say this. It's not about one queen, one king show. It's about every single one of us. And we are all just a puzzle piece to the full puzzle, right? So with all of that said, let's kick the door open with this article. Let's highlight and shed some light on the challenge right now. So this is on everybody's mouth, everybody's thoughts, the fear of de-dollarization, right? The dollar is going to collapse and the world is coming to an end, right? So BlackRock CEO says the same thing, nothing new here. So there is no denying that the US dollar has seen a gradual decline in global dominance, right? We all know about this. We've had this a million times, right? So the de-dollarization movement has taken substantial hold over international trade. This is what we are faced with as we speak. All these back and forth with the trade wars escalating back and forth. The major actors are obviously the whole world. However, the main characters are the US and China, right? So China is one of the most significant advocates for bringing a dollar alternative to the international table, right? So BlackRock CEO also shed some light on the developing situation. So what's the developing situation? Higher interest rates right now ballooned the US federal debt, right? This is something that is not new. We've been discussing this. This has been going on for a very long time. And now it reached a level where it's so critical that there needs to be a really core change in how the whole monetary system works. And this is being highlighted right now. So the high interest rates right now are causing trouble because the US debt needs to be refinanced. And with the high interest rates right now, this means that they'll have to refinance the same debt on a higher interest rates, meaning the interest rates payments will be even more. So we know about this. So this is a crisis. This is a trouble. So he's saying something that it's common knowledge, right? Nothing new so far. So far, so good. So President Trump has taken a strong stance against America's growing debt, right? So he's actively trying to do something about it because you can't just kick the can down the road anymore. You have to be actively involved with doing something about this. Having the privilege of being the global reserve currency like the US is a privilege that comes with a lot of power. However, you also have to maintain the global reserve status. And that's where the challenge is right now. And it's shown by the current US debt is around 120% of the total annual economic output, right? So basically, this just means that whatever the US is producing in total annual output, their debt is 120% of that. So the debt is higher, 120% of what actually they're putting out, right? So actually up by 20% more. So that means that all the goods and services that US is generating, even if they spent every last penny of that to pay down their debt right now, it still won't be enough. So that's the severity of the situation that we're in. So this development could further push the de-dollarization agenda. It could also lead to US losing its economic dominance, right? This is exactly where we're headed. And this is, like we said, is nothing new. We've all had this before. These are challenges that everybody's talking about. from Larry Fink to your regular quick crypto Twitter or any social media platform. We all know about these challenges. However, what we need to highlight here is that according to BlackRock's Larry Fink, he says that these deficits keep ballooning. If they keep ballooning, America risks losing position to digital assets such as Bitcoin, right? That's the risk, that they might lose their position to digital assets, right? So another thing I want us to highlight here is that another individual has also his opinions, right? An individual, and his opinion is the US will lose the reserve currency when there is someone out there that to take it away. However, right now, there isn't an alternative. What does this tell us? So we are faced with two challenges right now, and this is where we're going to stop. We don't want to get too deep. I think we got the idea here. The idea is that de-dollarization is taking full effect. We can't continue this way. There needs to be a drastic shift in how this monetary system is handled. It's not sustainable. It's not efficient. And this needs to change drastically. And also, there is currently no alternative. However, if there is, this alternative that is more sustainable and efficient would literally take over the current monetary system. That's the takeaway of this article. So far, so good. So now it's not just about talk, but it's about action. So now let's see what's the action. So as we know, Paul Atkins just got sworn in this week. For those that are familiar within the crypto space, we all know who this individual is. But those who are not familiar with Paul Atkins, he is literally the new U.S. Security and Exchange Commissioner chairman. And he's a pro-crypto, let the market do its thing individual. And we're experiencing history right now, because for the first time we are having a pro-crypto U.S. Security and Exchange Commissioner, in contrast to Gary Gensler, the previous SEC chairman, who literally was suing anything and everything, right? So these are a direct contrast. So anyway, what's so significant is that this new chairman, SEC chairman Paul Atkins, is actually speaking tomorrow. And he's speaking tomorrow to using at the very first event with the crypto digital assets task force. Tomorrow he'll be speaking, right? So on the 25th. Why is this so significant? Like we see here. So the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commissioner has confirmed that the new chairman, Paul Atkins, will officially be present and speak at the agency's next crypto roundtable, which is going to take place tomorrow, April 25th, right? Another takeaway here is that according to the agency, the roundtable discussion will see this crypto task force discuss digital assets, of course, regulation of them. So it's about regulations for these digital assets with a specific focus on custody, right? So this is what's going to take place tomorrow. Now, before tomorrow, he already went ahead and went to speak to one of the largest tokenized asset projects in the crypto industry, known as Ondo Finance. So those who are not familiar with Ondo Finance, no worries. We are getting ready to dissect and break down the significance of this. So this same Paul Atkins already met with Ondo Finance before tomorrow. They already met and discussed. What's their discussion? They discussed how they want to tokenize US securities. For those who are not familiar with this term, US securities, this basically just means US stocks, the stock market, the US stock market. tokenizing that. This is something that Larry Fink, the CEO and founder of BlackRock, has been singing a song about and is so eager to implement. Tokenization of all assets, of real world assets, from the stock market to real estate to the money market funds to the commodities, treasuries, bond market, private credit, you name it. Tokenize everything. And this is now the SEC, they already met. They're not going to, they already met. And they discussed tokenizing securities. Why is this so significant? Because probably this is just me thinking, connecting the dots. Tomorrow we might hear the outcome of this. And they were meeting to talk about regulation, right? To bring regulatory, to place regulatory frameworks. So Ondo Finance met with the US Security and Exchange Crypto Task Force Working Group, which is actually, we'll be talking tomorrow with Paul Atkins also speaking. And they already presented a regulatory framework for tokenizing publicly traded US stocks. Let's take a break here and look at examples. What are publicly traded US stocks? So US stocks that are publicly traded range from commodities, right? Or stocks specifically like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Google, and so on and so forth, right? Even Tesla. These are the examples of largest stocks in the industry. Now, let's just take a sidestep and look at it even closer. So if we go here and we look at Ondo, what is Ondo? And we come here to real world assets. This is a very nice website. It gives you data on the current real world assets that are already on blockchains. Here specifically, we're looking at treasuries, US treasuries. As always, let's pay attention to which platform, which blockchain are these US treasuries predominantly on. As you can see here in blue, you can clearly see it's Ethereum, right? No surprise. It's Ethereum right now, but that's not what we're looking at. We want to look at Ondo. Ondo sits as number 2 right now, the second largest tokenized security issuers. So these are not just your random company. These are well-established institutions that are literally already issuing tokenized US debt. And they're the second largest, only behind Securitize. We'll get to Securitize in a moment. But for right now, we are focusing on Ondo. So Ondo is the second largest issuer of tokenized treasuries. Let's go up here. You see here, tokenized treasuries. Tokenized treasuries are US treasuries, US bonds, the tokenized form of them. And Ondo is the second largest issuer on the Ethereum blockchain. And they're the largest issuer of that, right? So this just to introduce who Ondo is. And now they want to come to stocks. Let's go down here to stocks now. You see how first thing that should get our attention is the market cap. These are tokenized stocks now. This is what the SEC was sitting down and talking with Ondo about. Because now they want to get into stocks. They want to tokenize them. And you see how the market cap is barely 350 million. This is a very small market cap. Why is this so significant? Why are we saying this is so small, 350 million? Let's go back here and look at the stocks. If we focus just on the stock, like Apple, let's look at its market cap. Just one stock alone is over 3 trillion US dollars in market cap. Then Microsoft is 2.8 trillion, Nvidia is 2.5 trillion, so on and so forth. So one stock alone is larger than the entire crypto industry right now. But this doesn't tell us much. Let's look at the global stock market so that we have an idea. So if we look at the global stock market community, we realize that we are sitting at 124 trillion dollar market. And out of this, if we just focus on the US, because that's what the SEC now was sitting down with Ondo today and discussing regulatory framework, we see that right here, 49%, so almost half of the entire stock market, global stock market, is in the US. Second and third are China to the right here with 13%, and then Europe with 12%. So in terms of market cap, the US alone has 4 times larger stock market than both the China and Europe. So back to now this article. Now that we have that picture in mind, how large the stock market alone, just the stock market alone is, and how significant this is right now, that the SEC that just was sworn in through led by Paul Atkins, who actually runs a hedge fund, meaning he's very familiar with Silicon Valley and Wall Street and startups, is sat down already with Ondo, the second largest tokenized US Treasury issuers, only behind BlackRock Securitize, and was discussing tokenizing publicly traded US stocks. So this just to show how significant this is. And they're talking tomorrow, probably giving us some updates on what was discussed today. So now that we understand that, let's also highlight that one more thing. On those Securitize, let's now briefly look at Securitize. Before we come to the board of directors, since we're here, we might as well. So if you look at the board of directors, these are the founders usually. We see here on the left, obviously, Mr. Domingo. He's the CEO and co-founder. And then on the right, you see another co-founder as well. But in the middle, this is the interesting individual. He's the managing director of BlackRock. So BlackRock literally directs, it sits at the board of directors with Securitize, because they're in partnership with Securitize and issued the BIDL token. And if we just briefly remind ourselves where BIDL is right now, BIDL is ahead of Ondo and is the largest tokenized security issuer, as we see here, and they lead by over 41%, right? So this is important for us to understand. The largest tokenized treasury issuer is BlackRock, which is also happens to be the largest asset manager in the world, that also has the most securities, stocks, ETFs in the world. And let's now see, where does BlackRock or Securitize, which platform are they on, right? And they're also into tokenizing stocks as well. And they're being the largest asset manager, that's nothing new, of course. So BlackRock, like we know, they launched their first tokenized fund already. We know it as BIDL, and this is it right here. Let's come back here. This is it. So Securitize, this is the BIDL, and they're completely dominating. And they are launched, like you see here, back over here, of course, on the Ethereum network. That's where they chose to launch. And on those, the second largest is literally just following along where the money is heading, where everybody, where BlackRock is leading. And this is something that I just wanted to highlight. Another thing also, to just bring the point home, and then now get to really to the meat and potatoes of today's session. We are just laying the foundation for today's session. So here we are again, JP Morgan now. They are using BlackRock's tokenized shares. What are shares? Shares are stocks. So JP Morgan, they already have their Ethereum-based tokenized collateral network on Ethereum. They already have it. And this is just telling us how they are using BlackRock's tokenized stocks. They call them shares, right? They're using tokenized BlackRock shares as collateral. And they're using it through their own JP Morgan's Ethereum-based blockchain for their tokenized collateral network. And then all of this is being used over the counter, of course, and for the derivatives market, like we know. We know that the derivatives market is a quadrillion-dollar industry, quadrillion-dollar market. And it's on this tokenized collateral network is on JP Morgan's Ethereum-based Onyx. It's on Ethereum. We know that the largest asset manager, BlackRock, they have their liquidity fund, tokenized liquidity fund BUIDL, also on Ethereum. And now Ondo had just sat down with the brand new SEC chairman and crypto asset working group to discuss further about tokenizing securities such as the US stocks. We saw how large the stock market is. The US alone has over 60 trillion. It's $60 trillion. That's how big the US stock market is. 4 times the size of that of China and Europe each. So what are we saying with this? Let's bring this home. What we're saying here, community, is that the new SEC commissioner and chairman is pro-crypto. The regulations have been presented already today by the second largest tokenized real world asset issuer, Ondo. And Ondo is just a small brother of Securitize. Securitize is really, they are the world leading tokenized assets issuers. And like we know, who is partly owning Securitize, as we see here, board of directors, it's a director from BlackRock. So BlackRock literally runs Securitize, and Securitize already is the leading company in terms of real world assets and tokenized securities through BUIDL, and they chose Ethereum to be on there. Fine. Now that we discussed that, what they're tackling next is now the stock market. They already captured stablecoins. Stablecoins are taken over. This is done. And then once they captured stablecoin, also just for clarity, is predominantly on Ethereum. Just so we are clear about that. Then now they took over treasuries, tokenized treasuries, predominantly also on Ethereum. And now they're tackling stocks. They're going step by step. And now they're tackling stocks, the stock market. This is a $60 trillion industry that is getting ready to be tokenized and placed on Ethereum. Just like stablecoins, treasuries, and now stocks are getting ready to be launched also on Ethereum. And one thing I want to highlight here is this. NVIDIA, over here, NVIDIA is the largest. Among all of these other tokenized assets, NVIDIA is the largest one. And it is solely on Ethereum already, as you see here. So tokenized NVIDIA is already on Ethereum and only on Ethereum. So, and if we can come back over here, let's look at where NVIDIA is. So NVIDIA is literally the third largest right now. Third largest outside of gold. Gold is not a stock, it's a commodity. So Apple number 1, Microsoft, and then NVIDIA. And NVIDIA, as we see here, they are already tokenized stocks. They have a representative here and they're already on Ethereum. So if NVIDIA is on Ethereum and chooses Ethereum, obviously its competitors will just follow suit and also build. But if you look at the overall market value, it's just at 350 million. So it's a very small market. This is why with Ondos and with BlackRock, we're going to experience a huge push of these tokenized securities, and it's going to be in the trillions of dollars. And the largest players have chosen Ethereum network as their choice, right? So BlackRock chose Ethereum. We saw here JP Morgan already didn't just choose Ethereum, but they have their whole tokenized collateral network, right? Which is used by BlackRock's to tokenize shares in one of its money market funds and to use it as collateral for the derivatives market, which is a 1 quadrillion industry. So what does all of this mean to us? How does all of this relate to our bulldozer effect? Now we're bringing this home. Now that we understand all of this community, and this is for those that have been around already know this, but now those that are new in the community, the bottom line here is that a lot of liquidity is getting ready to be launched on Ethereum, because this is where the stable coins, tokenized US dollar, are on Ethereum predominantly. We have treasuries, tokenized treasuries are predominantly on Ethereum already. As we see here in blue, it's on Ethereum, with BUIDL leading by far with 1.2 billion, right? And BlackRock's BUIDL token is already also, like we saw here, let's go back here again, they're on Ethereum. So the largest stable coins are on Ethereum. The largest tokenized fund, liquidity fund, treasuries are on Ethereum. And now today, we started tackling US treasuries, US stocks, securities, which are, like we saw here, have a $60 trillion market cap. And all of these are getting ready to be launched on Ethereum as well. So now how does that help us? One thing for sure, we don't have to argue about this. We all understand that the future of DeFi is literally on blockchain. But to be even more specific, it's going to be right here on Ethereum. But that's something that we now understand and we have to embrace. Whether you like it or not, that's our current reality. But now we have to take it a step further and ask ourselves the second question: how can we be part of this? How can we actively be part of this and engage in all of this that is about to come towards us? Now that we understand and have the knowledge for all of this, how can we be part of it actively? And this is where literally the bulldozer effect was born. So let's come back to our website here and let's use the visualizations here to really break down now and come home to the point of the power of the bulldozer effect. Community, we find ourselves in a time where, like we started at the beginning, we are so used to individualism. We always think that if the other ones, the other people left and right of myself can't win, because if they win, I lose. That's the mindset that we need to get rid of completely, because this new blockchain technology is giving us an opportunity where we can use this new blockchain technology to benefit every single one of us, and all of us can be active members of that. And this is how the bulldozer effect works. Now, picture this, that we all agree that the blockchain technology is the future. That's what we agreed on. We just backed it, we just saw. Not only is it the future, but it's on the blockchain that all three of our tokens are on the Ethereum blockchain. We saw that these markets, specifically the one discussed today, has a market cap of 60 trillion. And majority of it is led by BlackRock, the largest asset manager, which already is the #1 tokenized treasury issuer, also on Ethereum with the BUIDL token already. So they're getting ready to do the same thing that they already did with US tokenized treasuries, but now with the stocks, and bring it on the Ethereum blockchain as well. Same thing they did with the stable coins and the US dollar, also on Ethereum. So needless to say, a lot of liquidity is getting ready to come our way. How can we actively, as a collective, be part of this? This is what we should ask ourselves. So now that we say that, let's understand one thing. So far, we've been always taught that we have to hustle and fight on our own. But today, with this bulldozer effect, we're going to prove the difference. First of all, let's identify the 4 challenges that are in this industry. How are we going to tackle these 4 challenges? Are we left on our own individual demise to tackle these challenges individually? The clear answer is obviously no. We tackle it as a collective. So let's identify the challenges that we are faced with as we speak. We know that as of now, we have a major challenge, and the challenge is transparency. After the 2008 financial crisis, community, the blockchain technology was birthed out of the 2008 financial crisis. We were complaining about lack of transparency by the government and the financial institutions. There was no consumer protection in terms of issuing all these mortgages that people defaulted on and lost their homes and their jobs and everything out of this financial crisis. So there had to be a new monetary system in place that will empower you and I, the retailers, and protect us, and so that we don't have to trust governments and individuals, but we can trust the technology, the software, the smart contracts, and so on and so forth. That's how the blockchain was birthed. It was birthed to be a solution to all of this. And this is exactly what we're looking at right now. So, and now we don't have to go through it individually. We can work together as a unit, as a collective. And the bulldozer effect is literally highlighting the power of DeFi participation model. So we can all participate in this ecosystem, and as a community, as a collective, and we can all drive by compounding our USDC distributions to lock the liquidity, to reduce our supply, and to create sustainable self-reinforced cycle that we have. And that's what we call the bulldozer effect. Furthermore, the bulldozer effect highlights the power of participation of a community. So this is how we say we all win together. It's not a one individual against the other, not on our ecosystem. The way this bulldozer is developed, this mechanism is developed, it is for all of us to participate and win together. Now let's look at it in detail. Let's identify the challenges. The first challenge we face in this industry is inflation. We all agree on that. Inflation is a major challenge, not just in the crypto industry, but as of right now, right? This is why we hear the screams about interest rate cuts should be cut. And the monetary system that we are faced with right now is debt-driven. And in order to stimulate the economy, you have to issue and print even more fiat. This will push the debt ceiling even more. It will accumulate even more debt. So it's a two-edged sword. Yes, it will stimulate the economy, but it will cause inflation and it will raise the debt ceiling. That's the monetary system we're in right now. So inflation is the number one challenge. So we need to address that. That's the first challenge. We'll get into details later, but let's just go through the challenges first. The second challenge is liquidity. So with the first challenge, this is how we're addressing it. This is why we have the true burn mechanism. This means that we are, with every transaction, we are removing tokens, BRL tokens, from the total supply, not just the circulating, but the total supply. We'll get into it in a minute. The second challenge is liquidity. Liquidity plays a major role, and this is a major challenge. And those, to highlight the impact of liquidity, those countries, central banks with the most foreign currencies, meaning with the most liquidity, they are the ones that have the strongest fiat money, fiat currencies. And that's, for example, is the Swiss franc. Right now, during this crisis, people are rushing, investors are going and buying a bunch of Swiss francs because it's stable. It's actually the only fiat, and I use the word very carefully, it's the only fiat currency that is literally deflationary. Literally. Usually fiat currencies are inflationary, they cause inflation. But Swiss franc has been having for decades negative interest. So it's deflationary. So that's why investors rush to it in times of trouble like this. Times of uncertainty, people rush to it. Why? Because they have the deepest liquidity. They have $1 trillion worth of foreign currencies. For an 8 million population country, having such massive amount of liquidity, that's power. And that brings confidence to investors, and that's why they rush to the Swiss franc. So liquidity plays a major role. You need to have liquidity. This brings confidence and trust, and it pushes investors to invest, and it gives confidence because it's volume. Volume it brings volume as well. So you can trade easily. The deeper your liquidity, the more you can trade, and it brings stability. That's number two. Second thing, the third challenge is unsustainable staking distributions. We know that stakings play such a major role in this industry. Actually, it's so important that its function is to stabilize your token, your ecosystem, for one, and secondly, it is also serves to bring security, to secure your network. So those are the two major things that are futures that staking has. Staking secures your network, and it also stabilizes your network. That's importance of staking. However, you need to incentivize the stakers because they're literally putting their tokens at stake. So how are you incentivizing them? It's by issuing distributions, staking rewards. And the challenge now here is that these staking rewards usually are handed out in native tokens. Like, for example, if you stake Aave, you receive Aave. If you stake even ETH, you receive ETH. Excuse me. And so on and so forth. And if you don't have a banning mechanism like the one we have right now, like we're showing, you causing inflation, and then you fall back to the old monetary system that we're in right now, that is causing inflation. That's what you want to avoid, right? So this is why you need to have a sustainable staking distributions. That's the third challenge. And then finally, all of these three are efficiently and sustainably managed by using your volume efficiently. Now, all of that was theory. Now let's look at these things in practice now. Let's start with our supply. We started with a supply of 1 million. And we said that one of our challenges that we are addressing, not as individuals, but as a collective, as a community. Each time we have two options, community. If we stake BRL tokens, we receive USDC distributions. That's what we receive. And we have an option, two options. The first one, we can top our crypto.com card, Binance cards, whatever cards that we use, crypto cards, and use the USDC distributions in the real world to do whatever we please. The second option is to buy more, use the USDC to buy more BRL and restake. Now, whenever we do that individually or as a community collectively, most importantly, because now we're describing what the bulldozer effect does. So imagine each time we do that, this supply keeps shrinking. Every time a community member decides to compound, buy back more BRL and stake it, this is what happens. 3% goes to liquidity. So the liquidity increases. The supply shrinks. And the USDC distributions are accumulated. Three things are happening every time a single community member decides to compound, buy back, and restake. The supply is reduced, the liquidity is increased, and USDC is accumulated. Let's look at these things more in detail. This is Etherscan. It's not my words. This is verifiable. You don't even have to trust what I'm saying. You can verify it yourself. You can come here on Etherscan and we verify what I'm saying. So we started with 1 million in total supply. As you see here, you can verify yourself. We're at 962,000 right now. So that means over 37,000 BRL tokens have been removed, not from circulation, but from total supply. So every time one of our community members decides to use the USDC distributions and buy back and stake even more, this supply keeps shrinking. This number right here keeps shrinking. Not only that, but the staking percentage keeps increasing. So right now we are at over 74% of our total supply is staked right now. And just as a hint, we are already within the top 3 most staked cryptocurrencies in the world. And we are not a blockchain. We are just an application on the Ethereum blockchain. But yet, the two cryptocurrencies ahead of us are blockchains, specifically Sui and Aptos. So they're in the top 20 cryptocurrencies. And this is just something I just wanted us to also clarify. And they each have 75 and 76% staked. However, they don't have their full circulating supply out. They still have locked amounts in over 50% of their supply is still locked. And Aptos has unlimited supply. The difference with us is we had a max supply of 1 million and our supply keeps shrinking. Every time a community member decides to use their USDC to buy back more and stake, the supply keeps shrinking, the staking percentage keeps increasing, and this USDC staking rewards in USDC keeps increasing. As you see here, right now, you see this is a smart contract. This is our staking contract, right? We have a smart contract for our staking. So each time a community member decides to compound, buy back more BRL and stake, more USDC are being accumulated. Like we see here. The supply keeps shrinking, like we see here. These are 3 things that are happening. And then finally, the staking percentage keeps increasing. So not only is our total supply shrinking, but we're also removing more BRL tokens from circulating supply by staking them. And because those who decide to stake are being given these USDC distributions that are being accumulated with every trade that is happening right here. Now, the question that I want to ask us is, where do you see individualism here? There is no individualism. Each time one individual, one community member buys back and stakes, which is actually you think is for themselves, but they're actually benefiting everyone. You, I, the one next to you, the one on your right, everyone is benefiting. By how? More USDC is being accumulated. This number increases. We see here, this number decreases. The total supply keeps shrinking. And the staked amount keeps increasing. And liquidity keeps increasing. Now imagine 1,000 people do that. 10,000 do that. 100,000, 1 million do that individually. And we do that collectively. So you imagine what's going to happen with the supply, with the total supply. What's going to happen with the staking number, staking amount? What's going to happen to the liquidity? You see why we don't spend a minute talking about the price of BRL and how it's going to hit all-time highs and price? Because it's too obvious. It's too obvious. Let's talk about the fundamentals. Let's focus on the fundamentals. And the beautiful thing about all of this that we've been discussing, it's not done by one individual. It's not done by one queen alone or one king. It's done by every single one of us in here. Whenever we decide to buy back and restake, this is exactly what happens. Liquidity is being accumulated, the supply keeps shrinking, and USDC distributions keep piling up. So that means unlimited USDC supply. We keep accumulating more liquidity, attracting even more traders. The supply keeps shrinking, raising the price floor. And it's efficient and sustainably done because we are using our volume efficiently. Now, let's take this a step further. We've dedicated 10% already of the total BRL supply out of 1 million for staking and buybacks. So this wallet already does that. This wallet is already keeps using its USDC that it's getting because it's staking 10% of the supply, and it keeps buying back more BRL and keeps staking. Now, what do you think is happening when this is happening? What we've been discussing. So this causes even more burn. It increases even more liquidity, and the USDC distributions for you and I that are staking keeps piling up even more. So we already have a smart contract that is doing this. So even if the community doesn't decide to do so, it really doesn't matter, because this smart contract does it one way or the other. It's doing it already. So we as a community, we can also jump on board and do exactly what this is already doing individually and as a collective to expedite this process even more, to burn even more supply, to accumulate even more liquidity, and to accumulate even more USDC distributions for us that are staking. This is why we first laid the foundation of what's coming on Ethereum. We all see what's coming. Liquidity is coming on Ethereum. Tokenized stocks are coming on Ethereum. We already have tokenized treasuries and tokenized dollar. And all of them are already predominantly on Ethereum. So do you have a platform that engages the community and enables the community to be part of a collective? So whenever we say we work together, it takes all of us. Now you see why we say that, because literally it takes every single one of us to succeed. No one person can do this on their own. Even if they do, they still benefit every single one of us. So this system is specifically built to be different from what we've been brought up to, the mindset of individualism, backstabbing, stepping on people's toes and backs to win, not with our ecosystem. Here is about harmony, unity, collective work, effort, and it takes every single one of us. We work as a unit and we win together. And this is the new way of using this blockchain technology to win, to succeed. So do we really need to be reminded each time to work as a unit? Don't we always just have to individually lift our weights individually? Be consistent, because now we understand that everybody's effort, however big or small it is, it benefits you and I, the one on your left, the one on your right. It benefits everyone. And we don't have to step on each other, backstab each other, outwit each other. No, we can comfortably and confidently work as a unit like we were supposed to do. Work as a community like we're supposed to be. And this is thanks to the bulldozer effect that we implemented. And it's not a copy of anywhere else. It's something we came up with ourselves based on the challenges we are being faced with in this industry, which is lack of liquidity, inflation, unsustainable staking distributions, and not using your volume efficiently. And now we're not just having smart contracts do these things, but we're enabling you and I, the community members, individually to be part of a collective. And whenever we decide to compound, buy back, and restake, we are burning more supply. We are accumulating more liquidity, and we are also accumulating more USDC distributions, which is staking for us. And the more volume we get because we accumulate so much liquidity. And talking about liquidity, let's come here and look at it. This is beautiful. As we speak right now, our market cap is only at 1.7 million. We are a fairly young and small community. However, if you look at our liquidity, it's extremely, extremely deep. We have a deep liquidity. And having a deep liquidity like this on such a small market cap, and then having the fundamentals in place that every time there's a trade by any member of the community, the supply keeps shrinking. And while the supply is shrinking, more supply is removed from circulation through locking them up in the staking contract. And these staked as tokens are being the stakers are being rewarded by a smart contract that keeps accumulating unlimited amount of USDC based on the volume. This is a carefully developed, designed mechanism, ecosystem. We named it Bulldozer effect, because it takes literally every single one of us for it to work perfectly in harmony. And imagine 1,000 people duplicating this, 100,000, 1,000,000 community members doing exactly this. Let's use our common sense. There is no point to spend even minutes or hours on this topic, because we all see where this is headed. This is why we focus on fundamentals and not on the obvious, because we all know what happens if the supply keeps shrinking, the total supply. We all know what happens if the liquidity keeps being accumulated. We all know what happens if the stakers keep staking because they keep receiving USDC distributions sustainably and efficiently without causing inflation. And we all know what happens if you use your volume efficiently, because now you keep burning your supply, you keep accumulating more liquidity, you keep receiving USDC distributions. Do we really have to spell it out what happens with an ecosystem like that? No, it's obvious. So let's not discuss or waste energy on the obvious. Let's discuss the fundamentals. Let's understand, let's discuss what challenges we're faced with right now. Let's understand the current monetary system and how it works and its challenges. And let's not just complain about the obvious either, but let's come up with a solution. And this is exactly what's happening right in front of our eyes. The solution to de-dollarization is tokenization. And this is happening right in front of us. While we're being bombarded with all the noise and distractions in the economy, Paul Atkins is busy talking to Ondo Finance, which is the second largest tokenized issuer, about tokenizing US securities, which is a $60 trillion industry. So $60 trillion are getting ready to come on Ondo. Ondo is on Ethereum. Ondo is only the second largest one. Who is the largest one? The largest one is, look at yourself. Let me not be the one saying it. It's right here. The number one, Securitize. Who is leading Securitize? None other than BlackRock. BlackRock is Securitize. And they already launched the tokenized fund, BIDL, also on Ethereum. Now, my question to you, where do you think BlackRock is going to launch their tokenized stocks? Where are they going to launch it? They already launched their tokenized fund, which is the bond market. And the bond market is way larger than the stock market. The bond market is 10 times larger than the stock market. And they chose Ethereum to launch it on. So where do you think tokenized stock is going to be launched on by BlackRock? I'll let you be the judge. You tell me. So this is what's happening. And now that we understand what's happening, community, we need to focus on fundamentals. We need to pick the right ecosystem. We need to be part of the right community. We need to be part of these educational sessions. So even though the noise around us is taking place, we can take a step back, take a sigh of relief, and see what's coming ahead of us and embrace it with joy, understanding that every single one of us plays a major role. And one way or the other, we're all contributing to the betterment of all of us. So this ecosystem is developed to better all of us. Every action you and I make benefits the one next to you. We don't have to fight against each other, outwit each other. That's not what this ecosystem is about. That's not what the blockchain technology is about in general. It's about empowerment, enablement, having the autonomy to make decisions based on our assets. That's what decentralized finance is all about. It's about empowerment. It's about solutions using the latest blockchain technology. And are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? The answer is clear in our ecosystem. We are all individually and collectively part of the solution, because each time you use the staking platform, which serves to strengthen and secure our ecosystem, and you decide to compound by buying back and restaking more, guess what you're doing? You're part of the solution. You're accumulating, you're bringing in more liquidity, you are causing the supply to shrink, and you're adding more USDC distributions to the person left and right of you within the community. There is no better way to use this technology than to enable the whole community to be part of a solution, while the rest of the industry is complaining about the challenges and the problem, but don't have a solution. So not only do we have smart contracts that address these challenges, but we also enable and engage the entire community to be part of the solution. How about that? So this is what we're all about, community, and this is what this session is about. So if we never understood and knew when we talk about the bulldozer effect, latest by now, we should take pride in and embrace and be glad about what we have in place. So whenever we talk about let's be self-driven, like Queen Lathi was saying, let's not always have to be reminded every day about being participating. This is exactly what Queen Lathi was talking about, because we need to understand what we have. And if we understand, we'll be accountable. And if we're accountable, we'll be responsible. And if responsible, we are consistent. And if we're consistent, we win, because every single person's activity benefits all of us. How beautiful is that? Away and long are gone the days of individualism. Now we can work together and win together. And we have the platform to do that. We're on the right blockchain to win. We see where the liquidity is coming to. We see all these liquidity talks and tokenization talks are taking place on Ethereum. What else do we need? We have everything we need right now. So let's keep pushing. Let's stay focused. Let's not be sidetracked. Let's understand what we have. Let's embrace it. And let's remind ourselves. Let's be accountable and see what we have. Every little thing, or however little or big it is, it contributes to the better of everyone else. It's not about individualism anymore. We've been taught that since we are toddlers. Since kindergarten, we are taught to compete and outwit, outshine. No, we don't have to do that anymore. We can work as a collective. If you win, I win. If she wins, he wins. We all win together, right? There's nothing more beautiful than that. And this should be our mantra. We should really embrace and understand this, because there is no other ecosystem that has this bulldozer effect. We literally came up with it ourselves based on the challenges in the industry. So it should serve as a blueprint. We as a community should serve as a blueprint of how community tokens should be launched, this is what you call community engagement. So we are not only engaging in daily tweets community, but we're also engaging in solving the challenges, which literally is inflation, lack of liquidity, unsustainable staking distributions. You are part of the solution. Be proud of yourself. Every time you engage with the staking platform, every time you engage with the BRL token, you are the solution. You are part of the solution. And you're contributing to scarcity. You're contributing to increased liquidity. You're contributing to sustainable staking distributions. We should be proud of ourselves. We are too humble as a community. We should be proud of ourselves. Lift our heads high and embrace that we are the leaders in this industry. Already we are in the top 3% staked. Our ambition is to be the most liquid and the most scarce and the most traded and the one that issues the most distributions that are sustainable. And we are already in the top 3 of the most staked. We are soon to be the #1 most staked cryptocurrency in the world. What's there not to be proud of in a humble way? So community, let's lift our heads up. Let's be consistent like we always are. Let's maintain our focus. We are here to win as a collective. If you win, I win. If I win, you win. We all win together, right? There's nothing more beautiful than that. No more individualism, but it's all about a collective. It's all about the bulldozer effect, a community-powered engine, a community-powered smart contract mechanism that every single one of us participates in, and it's benefiting every single one of us. This is it for today, community. I hope today's session was of great information, and especially those that are new within our ecosystem can understand when we talk about the 4 challenges that we are addressing, not as individuals, but as a collective. And that's the trick, is you want to have a platform where you're not only belonging to that ecosystem, but you are not just participating in it, but you're literally shaping it. That's the difference, right? You can literally shape it, and we work as a collective, and we are ready for what's coming our way. Atkins is this week was sworn in. Tomorrow he's speaking, probably shedding some light of what was discussed today in terms of tokenized securities. That's the next step now. Stable coins, tick. Treasuries tokenized, tick. Next step now is tokenized securities, which are stocks. We already saw Nvidia is already on Ethereum. The 3rd largest stock in the world is already on Ethereum. So where do you think Ondo and BlackRock are going to tokenize the rest of the securities? I'll have you answer that, because we are a very well-informed and educated community. So there is no use for me to say it. We all know it. It's something that is common sense, and we all understand, right? This is why we don't spend energy in discussing prices and speculating. When you can focus and address the challenges, you don't have to worry about the symptoms. We worry about the core values, core fundamentals. And if you focus on fundamentals and solutions, a byproduct. It's just a symptom of it, right? So why focus on the symptom if you can focus on the core fundamental itself? This is why we're all about education. We are daily here for you on Zoom. We are here every Wednesday on Facebook. Queen Debbie and Queen Val are leading the charge. The queens are here every single Friday and Sunday. If you're a queen, I highly encourage you to be part of it. We are here on Thursdays like today on YouTube. We are here every Saturday and Monday on Twitter as well. And of course, we are on Telegram as well. So we are a very, very active community, and we focus on fundamentals. We focus on unity. We focus on unity, and as we work as a collective, and we are crypto blockchain enthusiasts that lay emphasis on being informed and educated, and not by being swayed by today's trends and sentiments and whatever emotions that are being swayed on crypto Twitter. But we focus on fundamentals, on what the blockchain technology was meant to do in the first place. So with all of that said, community, I'd like us to come back to full circle onto your comments. Let's see what your comments are about. Like we said, it's very important for us to sometimes just come back to the roots and just dissect what we are all about, because we got a lot of community members that are new and that maybe are not familiar with our way of doing things and our focus in education and how we focus on solving challenges and being part of a solution, not just as an ecosystem and smart contract and mechanisms, but giving and enabling the community to take, not just participate, but to literally shape and be part of the solution themselves. Each time we decide to buy back and restake, we are adding more liquidity, we're reducing the supply, and we are accumulating more USDC, and we're using our volume efficiently to do that in a sustainable manner. How beautiful is that? So with that said, community, let's come back full circle to you. Let's see who was able to make it to today's session. We have Brother Ernest saying waiting. Welcome, Brother Ernest. It's a pleasure seeing you in the community. Glad that you were able to participate. I hope that you were able to take away something from today's session. We are very humbled to have you here with us today. We have here Queen Grato says, hello, Steve. Can you stake NFTs? Thanks in advance. Absolutely. Absolutely. These NFTs that we have are meant to boost your distributions, right? They are meant to boost your distributions. Let me go back. Let me show you that. We have this is it right here. These are the NFTs. They're called Bull Run Staking Booster NFTs, right? What you do is you can stake up to a maximum of 5 NFTs to receive 100% of your USDC distributions. So these are staking NFTs. You can stake them. Absolutely. Yes. And the beautiful thing about these NFTs that I need to add, since you asked, they are actually the revenue generated from these, they actually are being part of, they're working to sustain a healthy liquidity. They're being used to add, right? They're a source of revenue, which are used to feed into the liquidity pool. So this is one of the ways, besides the fees that we charge, like the 3% that goes from the trading fees, but these boosters also serve to feed back into the liquidity. This is how we sustain a very, very healthy liquidity as well. So I hope that was able to answer your question. Let's progress. Queen Marilyn says, looking forward. We are happy and humbled to have you, Queen Marilyn. We're glad that you were able to take your time and participate and be part of this session today. And I hope that you were able to take away something from today's session. We have Queen Kube says, eagerly waiting. We are very humbled as well, Queen Kube. Glad that you were able to participate today as well. And I hope that you are able to take away something from today's session. Then we have Queen Koki. Welcome, Queen Koki, to the community. It's always a pleasure to see you here as well. Glad that you're able to take away something from today as well. And hello right back to you too. Then we have Queen Debbie. Queen Debbie says, greetings to you all, Bull Run community. Greetings right back to you too, Queen Debbie. And this is one of the queens I was talking about, community. For those who don't know Queen Debbie, most of us know already. She is one of those queens that Wednesdays on Facebook, she and Queen Val diligently, consistently educating about finance in general, and also about Bull Run ecosystem and the blockchain technology. None of that is financial advice. It's just about informing and educating on these topics, because it's such a young industry and there's so much to learn. And we appreciate you, Queen Debbie and Queen Val, for taking your time always every Wednesday and being part, educating us on Facebook as well. Then we have Queen Resego. Resego says, good evening, family. Good evening, right back to you too, Queen Resego. It's always a pleasure to see you in the community. Good evening, family, to our developers, Queen Mom and King Steve. We are thankful and looking forward to learn from the best. We appreciate you very much, and we also humbled to be part of the best community in the industry. You being part of it, Queen Risogo as well, of course. We appreciate you very, very much. We have Queen Kosi, says, greetings, Queen Madawino, Brother Steve, and all the Bull Runners. I am grateful to be part of this amazing community, eagerly waiting for today's powerful session. We appreciate you very much, Queen Kosi. And I hope that you are able to take away something from today's session as well. And we appreciate you very much for always participating as well. Then we have Queen Resego says, good evening, BRL community, to our developer, Queen Mom and King Steve. We are thankful and looking forward to learn from the best. We're so blessed to be part of this ecosystem. We appreciate you very much, Queen Resego. Always a pleasure to see you in the community. We have Queen Rosemary already seated, waiting. Beautiful, beautiful. You're very much appreciated for taking your time on this Thursday and being part of these sessions. It goes a long way, like we said, like we understood latest by today. It's all about all of us, right? Every little or big thing that we contribute it goes a long way and it helps every single one of us. We work as a unit, and glad you were able to take your time and be part of this. Great brother Theo says, greetings, my great brother Steve, dearest great queen Mama Wino, and my beautiful BRL family. Topic Bulldozer. I'm so excited as I know our professor is sure to be fire as always. Let's go. Great brother Theo, always a pleasure to see you, read from you, I should say, in the community. We appreciate you very much for your consistency, always showing up, always looking out for the community. You're very much appreciated. I hope you and yours are doing fantastic. Then we have Queen Alice saying, greetings, Brother Steve, our Queen Mother and Bullrun community. Glad to be here this beautiful Thursday. We are very humbled to have you with us, Queen Alice. We appreciate you very, very much. We hope that you are able to take away something from today's session. Then we have Queen Maria says, greetings to the Bullrun family and our developer, King Steve. We look forward to more fruitful lessons and motivation. May God bless our developers. May you also be blessed and yours. We appreciate you very, very much for participating, Queen Maria. It's a pleasure having you here with us always. You're very much appreciated. Then we have Queen Cynthia. Greetings, community. Yet another week where our developer, Mr. Steve, continues to educate our community. Always a pleasure to see you, Queen Cynthia, in the community. Your leadership, your encouragements, your participation and consistency is very, very much appreciated as well. Glad that you're able to make it. Then we have Queen Mangai says, good morning. Our family waiting for our developer to get the best knowledge. Hope everything is well for everyone. Thank you so much for your well wishes. We appreciate your participation, and we hope that you and yours are also doing great and that you are able to take away something from today's session. Then we have none other than the amazing Queen Val says, hello family, happy Thursday. What a wonderful topic. Can't wait to hear from our dev. Let's all remember to hit the like button as we wait. Let's ensure that we do so. Community engagement goes a long way. What's said here is important, not just for us as a community, but for us as an industry, so that it will reach as many people as possible. All it takes is a simple like and preferably a comment as well if you have extra time to mention what you took away from today's session. Then we have not be named says, greetings everyone, look forward to another day of learning. We are very humbled that you were able to take away a day to be informed and inspired, and we are happy that you're part of this community. We embrace you and are humbled to have you here with us. We have Queen Beatrice saying, greetings, our BRL community, greetings to our dear mother Awino and our professor, Brother Steve. We thank the Lord for giving us yet another opportunity to come together to learn about our crypto industry. Beautifully said, Queen Beatrice. This is our industry that we are so enthusiastic about, that we're so passionate about. And there's nothing more beautiful than to be part of a community of like-minded individuals, and we can come together and discuss, be up to date, inform each other, be educated about what we're so passionate about, and grow together, and understand that we have a platform where every little contribution individually benefits us as a collective. So beautifully said, Queen Beatrice. We are very humbled that you're able to make your time and be part of this session. Queen Val kindly posted the links to Bullrun, as you see here, Survivor and Killer Whale. So if you're not part of the Telegram groups yet, we humbly encourage you to be part of it if you so desire. Be part of our movement, be part of our community. If it's simply just to tune in, be part of a movement that is focusing on fundamentals and education. And then we have Queen Kinole. Hello community and our developer. Looking forward to today's session. Welcome, Queen Kinole. Always a pleasure to see you in the community. Hope that you are able to take away something from today's session. Then we have Queen Jane. Hello, Bullrun community. Happy once again to be in this platform, to be motivated and more achieve the best from this ecosystem. Thanks, Mom and Dev Steve. God bless you every moment. Thank you so much, Queen Jane. You're very, very much appreciated for your leadership, your consistency. You never fail to show up. We appreciate you very, very much. And may you also be blessed, you and yours. We have Queen Viola. Says, greetings, BRL family. We thank the Lord for this wonderful session. Thank you for your feedback. Glad that you were able to take away something from it. And like we said, it's all about a collective effort. We all just putting in the little or the big amount that we can participate and contribute with. We appreciate you very much. We have Queen D says, hello, Queen Mama Wino, our Dev Steve, and the entire Bullrun community. Looking forward to learn more on today's topic. We are humbled that you were able to take your time and participate. And we also hope that you're able to take away something from today's session. The comments keep coming. So nowadays, the community is growing so much that it takes us literally at least a half an hour just to go through the comments. But we go through every single one of them. Queen Kube says, greetings, BRL community. Happy Thursday. Another informative session. Looking forward to what Brother Steve has in store for us. I hope that you're able to take away something from today's session, Queen Kube. You are very, very much appreciated. And we appreciate your consistency as well. We have Queen Connie says, greetings. We thank God for our brother, Steve. We appreciate you as well, Queen Connie. I hope you and yours are doing great. Then we have Queen Mel says, greetings, family. Greetings, Mom and Brother Steve. Greetings back to you too, Queen Mel. I hope you and yours are doing great. We appreciate you for taking your time and participating today. Then we have none other than Queen Mother Wino herself saying, greetings, Bullrun family. In a supportive community, we find our wings. Strength lies in our differences, yet united we stand. There's really nothing more to add to this. This is pure organic wisdom that is being embraced. We need to embrace this. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, Mom, for your kind words. Indeed, it's true. Strength lies in our differences. We all come from different geographic regions, different cultures, different backgrounds, but we are united, and united we stand. Beautifully said, Mom. Another one is, we want to appreciate our amazing community for our consistency and the hard work you put in. Thanks, Steve, for another great session. Beautifully said. We won't be where we are today without every single one of us. This is something we really can't emphasize and highlight enough. Latest by today, we should understand that the way this ecosystem works, it can't win. It can't succeed with just one queen or one king. It takes every single one of us consistently and understanding and believing in what we're doing. And that's how we're going to win, because we are doing things in a way, in a very unique way that is solution-based. And we look at the challenges that are being complained about on social platforms and turn them into opportunities and solutions using this blockchain technology. How beautiful is that? And that's what we are about. So beautifully said, Mom. Thank you so much for your encouragement and wise well wishes. We have Queen Patricia here says, knowledge is power. Thank you, Dev Steve, for educative sessions. Indeed, very true, Queen Patricia. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is confidence. Knowledge is comfort and a peace of mind. You're absolutely right, Queen Patricia. We are glad that you're able to be part of this session today. We appreciate you very, very much. Queen Patricia says, good evening, family. Good evening, Mr. Steve. Good evening, right to you too, Queen Patricia. I hope you and yours are doing great. We appreciate you very much, Queen Patricia. We have Queen Marilyn says, powerful session. We appreciate the feedback. We are glad that you're able to take away something from today's session, Queen Marilyn. Then we have Queen Patricia saying, good evening, family, and good evening, Mr. Steve. We value all the knowledge you share to empower us. Thank you, and stay blessed and protected always. We thank you so much as well, Queen Patricia. You are very, very much appreciated, and we hope and believe that you're able to take away something from today's session. Then we have Queen Nancy saying, thank you, King Steve, for keeping us educated, well informed. This is very inspiring session indeed. Knowledge is power. Beautifully said. Indeed, we all need encouragement, right? We all want to be part of a positive community of like-minded individuals that gather together regularly to uplift each other, right? And be part of this beautiful movement that we're so passionate about, the blockchain technology. So we appreciate you very, very much, Queen Nancy. Then we have Queen Marilyn saying, enjoying the session greatly. Thanks for the feedback. I'm glad that you're able to take away something from today's session. We have Queen Patricia says, I like the spirit of communitism embedded in the BRL community. This is awesome. Thank you, Mr. Steve. And again, stay blessed and protected always. Beautifully said, Queen Patricia. We lack this in the real world. It's all about individualism. It's all about, if I don't win, I lose, right? And in order to win, I have to outwit, outsmart, backstab, step on my fellow people's heads, right? That's the mentality we are embedded with since kindergarten. And this needs to stop, right? We can succeed as a collective. We all can win without, causing, being backstabbing each other. And that's the beautiful thing. So beautifully said, Queen Patricia. Absolutely, that's true. Queen Goliba says, listening attentively. Glad to know that. We are happy to see you in the community and have you in the community, Queen Goliba. Thank you for taking your time and being part of this session today. Queen Alice says, this bulldozer effect is amazing. A win-win situation. For sure, success is all we know. Beautifully said. There's really nothing more to add to this. Straight to the point, Queen Alice. Very, very true. Queen Virginia says, hello, Bullrun community. Thanks, our dev, Mr. Steve. Patience pays. Absolutely. Absolutely. Queen Virginia, well said. We appreciate your well wishes and great feedback. We have Queen Debbie says, the bulldozer mechanism is our pride. Absolutely. Beautifully said, Queen Debbie. Absolutely. There's something that we can and we should take pride in, because there's nothing more beautiful than coming together as a community and winning together, working together, achieving something positive together, and being part of a solution individually and as a collective. There's nothing more beautiful than that. Queen Grace says, thank you, Steve, for yet another day of learning more in this industry. We truly appreciate your efforts in enlightening us. Thanks again for giving us the best Bullrun ecosystem. What makes it the best ecosystem is you, Queen Grace, and all the other queens and kings as well. It takes every single one of us. There's no point of having an amazing platform and ecosystem, and there is no amazing community to utilize it and to embrace it and understand how it works. So it takes every single one of us for this ecosystem to be great. So thank you so much for your feedback, Queen Grace. We have none other than Queen Mother Caroline herself. Says, greetings, Bullrun community. We are in the right place at the right time. The light is at the end of the tunnel. Stay focused and trust the process. Beautifully said. There's really nothing more to add than to appreciate you, Queen Mother Caroline, for your leadership, for your by example, for your positive energy, your well wishes. You're very much appreciated and loved as well. Queen Patricia says, wow, thank you, Mr. Steve, for encouraging in spirit of togetherness. You are because I am. No need to outcompete each other. Beautifully said. I like that. You are because I am. How beautiful is that, Queen Patricia? No need to outcompete each other. Thank you again, the great teacher. Again, stay blessed always. That's the spirit that we have here, right? That's why we are kings and queens. We don't have to outwit each other. There's no reason to, right? We can be comfortable in our skin. And like Queen Patricia said, you are because I am, right? That's the mantra. Absolutely. Beautifully put, Queen Patricia. We have Queen Esther says, it's a win-win for all of us. Collective power, bulldozer effect. Thank you ever so much, our developers, Queen Mom and King Steve. We thank you just as much, Queen Esther, for your consistency, never failing to show up on these community events, and your consistency is very much appreciated. We're glad that you are able to participate in today's session. We have none other than Queen Lati herself. Says, greetings, Boran family. Another great session on the bulldozer effect on DeFi. Let's pay attention to detail. Beautifully said, Queen Lati. And we are humbled to have you here with us once more, Queen Lati. We have Queen Jules says, amazing session we've had. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for always empowering us with information. Great lesson for sure. Then we have Queen Lati again says, greetings, Boran community. Another exciting session where we are being educated on the bulldozer effect. Glad that you're able to participate and take away something from today's session. And last again, but not least, once more, my great brother Theo says, thank you for this amazing session, great one. Our bulldozer rules. And thank you for continuing to educate, inform, and inspire us all. Salute, General. Salute right back to you too, General, and my great brother Theo. I hope you and yours are doing great. We appreciate all of you, community kings and queens, for participating in today's community event. As you see, we are really growing, and we have a nice community that is very engaged, very active. It takes us longer and longer each time to go through these comments, but it's worthwhile. We want to appreciate you all for taking and putting in the effort to showing up and engaging. With that said, community, this is it on our side. We appreciate you all. We want to wish you a wonderful rest of your week. As for the queens, I want to wish you a beautiful, successful, uplifting session like you always have every Friday, tomorrow. And for the rest of the community, I humbly look forward to latest by Saturday once more to meet on Twitter Space, where we can once more gather, engage, uplift each other, and discuss the ecosystem and the industry that we are so passionate about, the blockchain industry and the Boran ecosystem. With all of this said, I'm humbled to be part of this community. Like Queen Mother said, we are very appreciative of the community's engagement and consistency. We are here because every single one of us, and like Queen Patricia beautifully said, I am because you are, or you are because I am. Either way, it works, and it's all about collectiveness. Let's keep that at heart. We win together, we work together, and we move forward together. We have everything we need lined up for us. All we need to do is execute, right? Like we always do. So with that said, community, have a wonderful rest of your week. We appreciate you all. Be blessed, be safe. Bye-bye, community.